Our great state of Maryland, Governor Hogan. Good morning. Wow. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Wow, you're all bright and chipper. I don't know how much coffee you drank, but thank you very much. Thank you for that great welcome. It's really great to be here with all of you. It's especially great to be back again in person here in Ocean City and to see all of your smiling faces without those masks, without those damn masks, I would say. The last time we all gathered together in person was back in June of 2019 when the theme of the MML conference was Together We Can. And none of us could have imagined then just how much that concept would be tested and how important that it would be during the difficult months that followed. Mayor Jones, not sure where he went, over here. I just want to thank you so much for your great leadership through one of the most difficult periods that municipalities and our state and the nation have ever experienced. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm gonna jump ahead and give a governor's citation to your president for the incredible job that he did leading MML. Let's step over here and get a picture. I want to thank Scott and the MML staff for, again, organizing a terrific conference here in Ocean City. And I want to express my appreciation to all of the outgoing members of the board of directors for all of their hard work. I'm very much looking forward to working with your incoming president, Salisbury Mayor Jake Day, who recently returned from a year-long deployment overseas with the Maryland National Guard. And Jake, I don't know where Jake is, but Jake, I was really so proud. There he is, hiding in the wings over here. I was really moved by the video of seeing you come home and surprise your daughters, Lily and Olivia, at their school when you first got back. And I know that I speak for everyone when I say thank you for your service to our nation, and it's great to have you back home. I'm looking forward to working with all of the new incoming members, board members, and I especially want to congratulate and sincerely thank all of the Hall of Fame inductees who've brought such a wealth of knowledge to municipal government. And most importantly, to all of Maryland's municipal officials and local leaders, I want to sincerely thank each and every one of you for your service to our state and for your continued dedication to your communities, especially over this past year. Your theme this year is the end of the beginning, facing the challenges ahead together. The COVID-19 pandemic truly has been one of the most daunting challenges that our state and our nation has ever faced. But sometimes the worst of times have a way of bringing out the very best in Marylanders. It's now been 1 year, 3 months, and 24 days since we confirmed the first cases of COVID-19 in our state, and I declared a state of emergency. And we took unprecedented actions to bring our entire public arsenal to bear against this invisible enemy. We convened weekly calls between our municipal leaders and senior members of our team and cabinet secretaries and public health officials with all of you to ensure that lines of communication remained open throughout the crisis. And in a truly incredible feat of resolve and resilience, together, we summoned every ounce of strength and every resource at our disposal to defeat this threat. As the number of infections rose, we reopened the Laurel Hospital. We built a field hospital at the Convention Center in Baltimore City. We added a new wing for COVID patients at the Washington Adventist Hospital in Tacoma Park. We expanded our hospital surge capacity statewide by 6,000 beds. We procured and distributed tens of millions of gowns and masks and other PPE, and deployed thousands of contact tracers in cities and towns from one end of the state to the other. We built up an entire testing infrastructure from scratch, going from just 50 COVID tests a day to reaching 11 million tests in the state. We built a massive vaccine infrastructure, deploying a team of 11,400 people and opening over 3,000 points of distribution to provide every single eligible Marylander with access to vaccines. The state of Maryland has now administered more than 6.8 million COVID-19 vaccines. That's not only meeting, but exceeding our goal of vaccinating 70% of all adults by Memorial Day. In fact, today, nearly 75% of all Marylanders over 18 years of age and nearly 92% of all Marylanders over the age of 65 have been vaccinated in Maryland. Those are much better rates than the nation and most other states. And as the number of vaccinated Marylanders continues to grow, the number of infections, hospitalizations, and deaths continues to fall. Every day now, we're seeing amazing declines in all of our health metrics, all across the board and all across the state. At the peak, our positivity rate in Maryland was 26.91%. Today, it is 0.54%. That's the lowest since the pandemic began and one of the lowest in the country. Our case rate per 100,000 peaked at 53.39. Today, it's down to 0.9, the lowest level since the first days of the pandemic. At the peak, our COVID hospitalizations in the state reached nearly 2,000 people. Today, hospitalizations are down to 115, also the lowest level since the very beginning of the pandemic. With all of this progress, and thanks in large part to the leadership that all of you have shown, and the hard work and the vigilance of the people of Maryland, we have finally reached that light at the end of this very long, dark tunnel. This Thursday, July 1st, any and all emergency restrictions and mandates of any kind will end in the state of Maryland. And this marks the beginning of a 45-day grace period through August 15th, where certain regulations will continue to be relaxed in order to help people complete the transition out of the pandemic. That includes an additional 45 days for Marylanders to renew their expired driver's licenses, an additional extension on the moratorium on evictions related to COVID-19. Together, we are making incredible progress on our health and our economic recovery, and we're outpacing the nation on both. Last year, as the country faced the worst economic collapse since the Great Depression, here in Maryland, we got to work, providing more than $2.1 billion in economic relief measures. We directed $700 million in state emergency economic relief, including $215 million through our COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund to nearly 16,000 small businesses across the state. We distributed $80 million through our Restaurant Relief Fund and $50 million through the Maryland Nonprofit Recovery Initiative to nearly 2,000 organizations across the state. We awarded over $31 million through our Layoff Aversion Fund to more than 1,200 small businesses, saving 21,000 Maryland jobs. We directed more than $8 million to 32 local entities that rely heavily on tourism and visitors, $40 million in relief for 155 local entertainment venues, $7 million for 41 Main Street programs across the state, and nearly $5 million was provided through our Maryland Farmer COVID Relief Program to more than 1,300 farmers and producers who worked day in and day out to keep our food supply chain functioning. To provide even more aid to struggling Marylanders, at the start of the legislative session, I introduced the Relief Act of 2021 as emergency legislation, which included the largest tax cut in state history. This $1.45 billion package provided urgently needed tax relief and economic stimulus for struggling Maryland families, small businesses, and those who lost their jobs due to the global pandemic. And the Relief Act was passed with near unanimous bipartisan support in both chambers, and it has offered a real lifeline to those hardest hit, people that were struggling to get by and small businesses desperately trying to stay afloat. Our budget department is working in tandem with MML. I think you had a great meeting yesterday, to direct an additional $528 million in federal funding directly to municipalities all across the state through the American Rescue Plan. The deadline to apply for your share of that funding is tomorrow, and budget officials are here today, and we continue to stand ready to work with you as funding is distributed next month. To jumpstart the next phase of our economic recovery, yesterday in Berlin, I announced our latest effort called Project Restore, which is a transformative $25 million initiative to continue revitalization efforts of towns and main streets in order to create more jobs and to bring more businesses to our state. Through Project Restore, the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development will provide new financial incentives, including 1 year of rental subsidies to businesses to help offset startup costs, and 1 year of sales tax rebates for those who occupy and revitalize vacant retail and commercial space. We're really excited about the potential of Project Restore. We look forward to working with all of you to make it a great success in your cities and towns. And over the next 12 months, we plan to see many more coming soon and open for business signs on your main streets, and we'll be excited to be with all of you as we cut the ribbons on new small business openings all across the state. As a result of all of this economic stimulus and relief, our economy is rebounding big time, and we're getting more and more Marylanders back to work every single day. We have now had 13 consecutive months of job growth and added over 266,000 jobs during that time. We've had one of the biggest and best economic recoveries in America. Maryland is open for business, and our long, hard-fought battle against this deadly virus is finally nearing an end. But that does not mean that this virus and its variants no longer pose any threat. So encouraging more Marylanders to get vaccinated is the only way to keep people safe and to continue our recovery. Our Go Vax summer tour is in full swing. They're even right out front here in the parking lot, set up at the convention center. And if any of you would like mobile vaccination clinics and units to come to your town or city, we encourage you to reach out to our State Health Department team to get them scheduled. As we reflect on the hard work and the many sacrifices that it has taken to finally reach this point, I want to sincerely thank the countless Marylanders who helped us get here. Our healthcare heroes, the doctors and nurses who work day in and day out on the front lines, our Maryland National Guard, citizen soldiers who did everything from distributing meals to hungry kids. They built and staffed our testing and vaccination sites. And we should thank every Marylander who volunteered, gave blood, donated to food banks, and all the businesses that shifted their entire operations overnight to make masks and produce hand sanitizer and manufacture face shields. And thanks to every single Marylander who's gotten the vaccine. We also want to take a moment to pray for all of those families with an empty chair at the dinner table. And we should resolve to never forget any of the 9,500 and 23 Marylanders who have been taken from us by this invisible killer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud of the people of this state, and I'm incredibly grateful to have had the partnership with each and every one of you throughout this crisis. As we prepare now to face the challenges ahead together, I have every confidence that not only will we fully recover from this pandemic, but we are going to come back stronger and better than ever before and continue changing Maryland for the better together. Thank you so much. Thank you.